Technical issues during the broadcast, please call the Oregon Studio hotline at 336-831-0864. Stations, your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Duck's gonna pick it up, and here we go. Got him deep. He's open. He's got it, and he's gone.
How about that?
Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
Duarte pulls up, 3-ball. Bang!
LJ Figueroa!
Oregon goes back-to-back for the fourth time in the last 6 years. The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
Foley three. Goal! Meixel fires and hits a three. Left wing, pow. Yeah, boom, boom.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
What a weekend.
We're just getting started.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Oh, it's good to be back after an Oregon baseball big-time win yesterday, man. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for being with us. I'm Joey Mack. We do have a lot to get to today, including head coach Mario Cristobal, who, if you are live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, he just wrapped up talking to the media. I'm not kidding. I pressed stop on our recording at 12:59 p.m. That means that our Zoom meeting is at 63% converting, because this is the way the world is right now. I could either give you all a live play-by-play of the convert meeting blue line that is slowly building toward that light blue portion. As it gets darker blue, then we're into the good stuff here. We're at 66%. I feel like an auctioneer, like from the Wolf of Wall Street or something in the financial district. The point is that, yeah, we do have Mario Cristobal coming as our recording is converting, and then we'll get it into the system. We'll have it for you in segment 2. I was hoping to have it for you in segment 1. We will have it for you in segment 2 as Coach Cristobal just wrapped up talking to the media. Oregon Volleyball has swept its way into the Sweet 16. That will be on Sunday. We're going to hear from Matt Ulmer coming up in just a moment. Also, Dane Altman, a new addition to his coaching staff. Kenyon Yovan with a heck of an honor. Men's golf, Sedona Prince, as well as we look back on Oregon women's basketball season with Kelly Graves today. And baseball, man, what a day. An 18-1 blowout up at Portland. My first road baseball broadcast since May 20th of 2019. It was at UC Riverside. It was hotter than all get up. The metal bleachers were so hot that if your shorts rode up too high, you burned your legs. That was the last road game I did. Got a chance to go up and see the new Joe Etzel Field. They did a really nice job at Portland, but the Ducks won the day. They are now 20-7 overall. They are now 20-7 overall on the season now for Oregon baseball. We're going to talk with Mark Wazakowski coming up on the show tomorrow to preview their weekend series at USC. Ducks look like they're in great shape to maybe host a regional here down the stretch, but got to take care of business, no doubt about that. All right, well, while we await Mario Cristobal, we're at 85% now, by the way, 85% converting on our Zoom meeting with Mario Cristobal. Then we'll get it in the system for you. We do have a lot of other interviews, though, because we have yet to hear from Travis Dye and CJ Verdell. They met with the media, a similar situation right before we went on the air on Tuesday, so we didn't have a chance to get them for you. But talking about that running back position, I thought, Travis Dye talked a lot about how the Ducks are in kind of a tough situation with their running back depth right now because they've got some guys banged up. Sean Dollars has been out, and so as a result, it's been a number of guys that are doing, well, a lot of the heavy lifting at practice. And, I think it's cool to see that. But also, spring ball is supposed to be about getting some of your young guys a little bit of run. And Travis Dye is a guy, I think, too, that let's just say he's a little bit more than a running back. Is that a fair description? I think he's a little bit more than a running back. You'll also hear him talking about a running back in Aaron Smith, who has come in as a walk-on, a freshman from San Jose. Travis was like, Aaron, but I wanted to make sure you guys all knew who Aaron was. Aaron Smith coming in from San Jose as a freshman running back. We're at 99%. So when we are done with Travis Dye, we're going to be ready to hear from Mario Cristobal as he just wrapped up talking with the media. Let's hear a little bit, though, from the Oregon running back, Travis Dye, as he talks spring practice.
What's the spring been like, and what are you hoping to get out of it? It's been pretty tough, but we've been doing a really good job with it. Me, CJ, and Cross, and this new cat that we just brought in, Aaron, and we've been doing pretty good. We've been getting a lot more reps because we got a couple people out, but it's been fun. It's been real fun.
When you're looking at your development since you got here to Oregon, where do you kind of think you're at, and where do you see yourself growing in this next season?
Where I'm at right now, I feel like I've grown a lot since I've got here. But I have a lot more to go. I have a lot more potential to reach, and I'm never satisfied. And I'm working every day to get better. Every single day, I'm coming here with the best attitude, and I'm getting my guys up, and we're just coming here and working, trying to get better each and every day.
Travis, at times last year, obviously, we saw Joe Moorhead use you as a receiving option. A lot of explosive plays there. How's that development going in your two in his system as far as using you as a running back and also at receiver?
Oh, it's going really well right now, and Coach Moorhead used the phrase, "It's time to take the training wheels off this year," and I'm very excited. I cannot wait, And he's utilizing me really well, the way I want to be utilized, and it's just going to be a really fun season.
Travis, you and CJ have played so much here, and Sean was somebody I think people were excited to see more of. Is it kind of a bummer to see? Not that you and CJ don't want reps, but is it kind of a bummer to see some of the younger guys missing spring, because you know how instrumental that can be in their development?
Yeah, it's the worst, and I know that. I was hurt my freshman year coming in here during spring ball, and it's not fun, just watching other people play and, getting their reps, and you're not getting any reps, but I'm here for Sean. I'm here for Sean and Trey and all of them. And I'm making sure that their mental is good and right, and making sure that the plays is right for them. And when they get back, they can just, get back rolling, hitting the field running. And I just, my heart goes out to them guys, and I'm calling them every single day to make sure they're good.
Your role in this offense has changed, and it feels like now that you're in kind of more of like a comfort zone of like what you want to be doing.
Yeah, most definitely. The first couple of years, I was just filling it out, just trying to get in where I fit in. And then Joe Moorhead came in, and he, put me in a position where I can make plays on the ball, where I can get the ball actually, and, go into open space, where I live. And, it's just been a really fun time with Coach Moorhead and the things that he's done.
Travis, with this season, you guys return the entire offensive line, and you welcome a bunch of really talented freshmen. What's that kind of been like in camp? And, does that make you feel, a little bit more confident heading into next season?
I have a lot of confidence in my O-linemen. They're doing a really, really good job right now. I look at it as one of the best O-linemen 5 we've had in a while since, I'm butchering the names for some reason. Jake and all of them were here, and and Dallas Warmack were here. I think we're getting to that kind of nastiness on the line and grit, and they've just been doing a great job. Those O-linemen, they're really, really talented.
Travis, you still working on punt return, and Coach was mentioned on Saturday that some of the other assistant coaches are working with Coach Williams on each unit of special teams and just adding to it a little bit. So I was curious as to who was working with the punt return and punt coverage teams.
Since we're a little bit low on running backs this spring, I haven't been doing punt return as much, but I'm pretty sure as soon as we get into fall camp that I'll be doing a lot more punt return and kick return. But I'm not doing as much as it in spring ball because, we only have 3 or 4 backs right now. And so I'm just focusing on the running back position at this point. But I still get, a few punt returns after practice and catch with Tom Schnee and everything like that.
Were you surprised at all that CJ came back for another year, or did you kind of get the sense with his injury at the end of the year and not having a normal season that he wanted to come run it back one more time?
Me and him talked about it. We spoke about it in the middle of the season, and I think before the season he was leaning on more of leaving, and so in the middle of the season we talked about it a little bit more, and he said that he wanted to come back, and I was all for it, and I told him that this 1-2 punch can keep going, and that we're going to be an awesome duo still. and that, last year, I know there's a bad taste in his mouth. And so he's ready to just come out this year and just go off, and I'm all for it.
Can you tell us a little more about who you call the new cat? What kind of talent does he bring?
Oh, Aaron, forgetting the last name right now. He's a walk-on. He came from Northern California. He is a really good back, and he surprised the heck out of me. And he's got a build like CJ, and he's very downhill running back. And he picked up the plays really faster than I've ever seen anybody pick up the plays. And he's very smart, and I can't wait to really see if we can get him out on the field in game days. I can't wait to see him.
Travis, you mentioned CJ's injuries. He's coming back. Do you think he gets kind of a bad rap because of the injury history? I mean, when he's healthy, I think he's one of the more talented backs in this conference and in the country, but it seems like the injuries kind of get in the way of some of the conversation. Like, how do you perceive him, and how have you seen his game this spring?
I don't really pay attention to what other people, say. CJ is one of the best backs out there, and he's probably one of the best backs in the Pac-12, if not the nation. And, the injury stuff, I don't think it's a problem. I think he's, I think he's good. I think that just comes with the game of football. You hate it, you love it. It happens, It was just super unfortunate last year that happened. But CJ, he's gonna come out on top, and I'm right here with him. This 1-2 punch is gonna be crazy.
Gotta love the 1-2 punch of Travis Dye and CJ Verdell. All right, the play-by-play, I don't need to give it to you anymore because it's converted, edited, and we're ready to hear from Mario Cristobal. When we come back, the Oregon football head coach, as he wrapped up talking with the media just as we got on the air, you'll hear from him next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Hi, welcome to the Spicy Drive-In. May I take your order?
Can I get the spicy chicken sandwich, please?
The spicy chicken is an excellent choice, sir. And to drink?
Whatever's fine.
Oh, may I make a beverage pairing recommendation this evening?
Sure.
If we are feeling especially bold tonight, sir, I would recommend the Mountain Dew with that. It's bravely unrestrained with a very alive aroma that pairs wonderfully with your spicy chicken. It's followed by a hint of zesty citrus flavor.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I'm sure you already know this, sir, but remember to appreciate the nose first by giving the Mountain Dew a little swirl to really volatilize it.
What?
To change the flavor compounds and activate your taste buds to get them fully primed for that chicken sandwich.
It's delicious.
Now you're getting the hang of it. The muscular flavor charge characteristics of Mountain Dew make for an absolutely epic mouthfeel when paired with spicy cuisine. It is quite on point, sir.
Dude, it's a perfect match. Like they were made for each other.
So true, so true.
When you want to make good food bolder and bold food better, do the Dew.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield IMG College.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union, live in the Country Financial Studio. I love this from let's just say one of the biggest baseball fans we know in Carrie Conklin-Yovan, because, her son was recently on the Golden Spikes Award list, and I saw that she was in attendance when the Ducks absolutely pummeled Portland 18-1 yesterday. Largest margin of victory for Oregon baseball in the matchup on the season. And then I saw another question today. Joe asked, how's the baseball team doing? They're freaking killing it. That's how the baseball team is doing. They're 20-7 this year. They're sitting top 5 in RPI and one of the top strength of schedules in the country. It looks like the Ducks are in a great position right now, but a lot of season still in front of them. We're only about halfway through the season. Ducks got to take care of business as the baseball team continues to rock and roll. Mario Cristobal continues to rock and roll as we're nearly halfway through spring football practice. The first scrimmage is coming up on Saturday for Oregon football, and they were in full pads today. Defense made some plays at practice. Mario Cristobal met with the media just as we were getting on the air, and we've got him for you in its entirety here.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Wrapping up a really intense day of practice. I know that sounds redundant, but I hope it always is. Very physical day where we got a lot of situational work in. The predominant focus was on short yardage, 2 minute. We mix those two up in there. Also included some mixed down stuff, certainly a pressure period, some team run play action, and then threw in some third and long situations, made it difficult for the offense as well. But all in all, just a very competitive day. That's what stood out the most about practice is the amount of competition going on and the levels of competition being exhibited by the players. It just creates for a tremendous atmosphere. And I told the players I was really proud of them for that, but we certainly have to be a lot more detailed with technique and fundamentals, execution, ball security, knocking the ball out, forcing turnovers, a lot of stuff to work on, but certainly a lot of progress.
Questions? James Carpia, the Oregonian.
Mario, just what's the plan for Saturday's scrimmage in terms of rotation with the quarterbacks and how much live tackling will there be, including of the quarterbacks?
Sure. Well, practice format, we will start off in the entire, I would say the first half of practice is going to look like our regular practices where we will have our indie periods. We'll work technique and fundamentals. We'll work our group periods where we'll work some perimeter blocking, some one-on-ones, some 5-on-4 pass rush, some 2-on-2, probably some block destruction or half line 7-on-7 run, just working the run game in either pod, split lines, or working just block destruction, where it's 1-on-1, 2-on-1, that type of a format. We'll certainly have a teach period in there to prepare for our situations. We'll do a team pass period. Not sure what part of the field yet. We're going to discuss that here in a staff meeting in a little bit. And then we will go to live ball. So you could just cut the day in half where the first half will be heavy technique, fundamentals, and situations. The second half will be live ball. Okay, we'll play live football, live tackling. And then from there, we'll finish off with a 2-minute drill. 2 minute will be our thud format where it's physical, it's live. But when I say live, staying up, nobody on the ground, preventing injuries. That being said, quarterback rotation, Anthony will go with the ones. For the duration of the scrimmage with the twos will rotate every single one of those quarterbacks. There's a lot of competition there. It's the best way to put it. We'll let it play out and see what kind of separation is created and make moves from there after the scrimmage.
AJ Jacobson, Rivals.
Coach, 6 or so practices in to this spring camp. Has anyone caught your eye with their improvement versus last season?
There's a fair amount. I love the question, and I don't love the question because you can miss a slew of guys in there. If I could answer it by position or there's a certain position, I'd love to tell you. One thing that jumps out, these guys on the edge. I mean, both Braden Swinson, Jake Shipley, Trevin. I mean, these guys have really popped. They've popped. They have shown a level of power, setting edges, rushing the passer that have been really, really impressive in my opinion. Adrian Jackson has really shown a tremendous amount of improvement, and the big part being that he's healthy, but that he's really focused. He's really focused on taking that next step as a player. He's had his bumps along the way, but it's the time now to do it. So those guys really jump out, but certainly especially today in practice, we're doing our team run drill, our 7-on-7 run, where it's really physically demanding. Tackles and tight ends are launching, some really good double team blocks on some of those edge players and working their way to safeties and linebackers. He did a real nice job setting an edge, something that we're hoping to see. So hats off to him. But a bunch of those guys they're certainly showing out well.
Dylan Rubenking, Ducks Digest.
Coach, obviously you're a big guy with the battle of the trenches. The offensive line, Mace Funa called dominant. Isaac Slade Matautia said that it's going to prove a lot of people wrong. You just said the edges, they've been playing really well. The defense obviously is a new system. What do you expect to see from the battle of the trenches on Saturday, and what have you already seen?
Well, for us, a really big point of emphasis is stopping the run. We last year, we're aware of it. We dropped almost 50, 60 spots against the run game. And that's not us. That's not our brand of football. And we take a lot of pride in that. And there is no one to blame. And there is no group to blame. That's us as a team. That's us as an organization to improve upon. And we've been committed to that. So what I think you're going to see more grit. You're going to see better technique and pad level, better coaching, better use of our hands. Better alignments, which I think it all starts with giving your players the best chance possible to be successful. And it starts with lining up to, loaded formations, loaded sets, bunch formations, formations into the boundary, unbalanced, all that stuff. Things that have given us issues are things that we have been working on bit by bit, and we're going to place an even heavier emphasis on in the coming weeks. I think all those things are showing up in bits and pieces, and we're putting it together. And there's just a lot of real deal excitement about it because we see the progress. We see, the momentum that's being gained by that defensive unit, and it's exciting. Coach DeRuiter, Coach Yates, obviously great additions, tremendous knowledge, and you combine it with the guys that have been here for a while, with Coach Wilson and Coach Salavea, Coach Chance. I mean, you got yourself a really good staff and players that are doing everything they can to get better.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Despite a couple of the freshmen being here last year, not a lot of opportunities to scrimmage. Obviously, Ty hasn't had a scrimmage yet, I guess, really. What are you kind of hoping to see from those guys? I mean, is it simple as just how they handled the live scrimmage situation? And I guess beyond that, kind of what do you hope to see from the younger guys on Saturday?
I think anytime you scrimmage with, especially, I guess, let me go back here. We've installed enough football to last us 2.5 seasons in just 7 practice. We have installed a lot. We've thrown a lot at them, because we want to see how much we can handle. We want to see what can we be good at. We want to experiment. But at the end of the day, when you get to a scrimmage format, you want to see who can block, who can tackle, who can throw, who can catch, who can run, who can execute under pressure, who can just carry out the basic fundamentals and principles of playing good football. And that'll be the focus of Saturday. You won't see a ton of razzle-dazzle and whatnot. But when you talk about a freshman being here, you want to see and you want to expect the same you would out of a veteran player. I think if you start lowering those standards, I think you almost create a new culture that just doesn't fit with what we do. That being said, these guys have invested a lot of time. These are not, in my experience, these are just not your normal freshmen. These guys are a very hungry group of guys that, mind you, haven't played football in a long time, right? A lot of these guys had their seasons cut short, shortened, canceled, right? So you're looking at a bunch of guys that have poured themselves into a culture, a bunch of older guys that have brought them in and have groomed them and taken them under their wing, and they're successfully competing. They do not look out of place at all. So we're expecting a lot of them on Saturday.
Pat Preem, 247 Sports.
The NCAA is expected to pass a one-time transfer policy where guys can be eligible right away. Last week, Dan Altman said basketball has been ahead of the curve for transfers, but he's expecting, football and all the other sports are going to have transfers left and right. Do you have someone on staff to kind of monitor the portal? It feels like that's the way things are going to go from a recruiting standpoint. And do you monitor that right now and I guess have the space to take a transfer if you find someone this offseason?
We have guys with duties and obligations that include the transfer wire. That's right. It's like the NFL waiver wire now. It doesn't change our daily operations. It's just an added component to someone's job requirements. But yes, we do, to answer your question. It's certainly a different day and age in football, but it goes back to, hey man, do what you do it well, work your tail off as best you can, do right by guys, and then find out, what your team is going to be about, what you're going to be good at. And if there's opportunity to make it better, sometimes it happens through a transfer, gain, sometimes through attrition, addition by subtraction. A lot of different ways this happens. Got to be adaptable, and we're certainly doing that, Matt. And you also have limited numbers and spaces, but rules that could push one ahead or have to count back. So that'd probably be for another press conference, man. I'm sure those are some questions that all of us want to talk about. It's just it's a pretty complicated formula.
James?
Mario, just going back to the defensive install and improving against the run, like you're talking about, there's some interesting analytics over the last several years about spread offenses struggling against 2-down linemen. And it looked like the other day, that's kind of what KT was talking about and some of the kind of multiple looks. Yet you're in a division where there's Stanford, there's Washington, there's Cal, there's Oregon State, who really emphasize power running attacks. So how do you want to integrate what Tim is obviously bringing in with a very multiple look, and Andy did as well, where you want to stick with the trend of the sport because you're taking on those kind of opponents, but you're in a division that's kind of acting against the curve in that sense, where there's so much of an emphasis on traditional power running game?
All right. To answer your 4-minute question. Okay. It goes like this a little bit. Well, you have to do what's best for your team. And there's 2 things that are good for our team. Number 1 is the use of multiple personnel groupings. I mean, whether it be 12 personnel, 11, 10 personnel, they all have a place in our offense, and we're pretty balanced with that. Now, that being said, your defense has to see those sets, right? Because defend the run versus 6-man, 5-man blocking schemes is a whole different animal now. When you start getting 2 tights and 3 tights, and you start scrunching the formation and going snug sets or going formation into the boundary and tackle over and all that stuff, man, that requires seeing it, aligning to it, understanding what teams are trying to do to that. So as to your question, no, we are, and that's part of these next couple of weeks, but it's also part of our install as well. So I think what we have now is we have the balance of what the offense is doing and working its way towards doing really fits to what we're going to be seeing, because we do have our spread attack. We do have our open set attack, but we also have our close set and our scrunch set and our snug set attacks. And all that bodes well to preparing a defense that's as multiple as Coach DeRuyter's defense is. And it also works well for the offense because there's a lot of carryover to what we're doing and other facets of what we're going to do as it pertains to what we're going to see. I think it's a great blend. Sometimes you have to fabricate stuff. If you're, for example, if you're an air raid offense and you want to prepare your defense that week, you probably got to grab some guys to play the tight end roles and get in there and put their hands down and run inline stuff. We already do a lot of that stuff. So I think all in all, it's a really good combination. And I think practice is, it's just facilitated that much better.
Max Torres, Ducks Digest.
Mario, we were just talking about the transfer rule. Another big thing expected this week is the NCAA dead period. You guys are one of many schools that have, kind of gotten ahead and scheduled some officials. I know you can't get into any specifics, but what's it been like to manage that during all of this, that uncertainty? And what do you think, recruiting might look like in Eugene this summer?
I hope coaches aren't planning vacation. It's been a long wait, but that being said, I want to really, make note of the fact that our coaches and this organization has worked unbelievably hard to put together the best class in our history, because you think, well, there aren't any official visits. It's probably less time invested. It's really not. There's always stuff to do, stuff to organize, players and prospects to recruit. So that hasn't stopped. But what happens now, if it goes like we think it's going to go for the entire country, June is going to be a very busy month. It's going to be full throttle. I guess that's the best way I could describe it, because you're going to have visitors on campus. It sounds like, well, let me not get ahead of myself as it relates to camps and everything else. I know there's some stuff there. I just want to be really good about it. I just think the entire month every day presents an opportunity, whether it's on your campus or potentially at another place, another site. So I don't see there being much time to do anything else in the month of June except get your team prepared here, as well as recruit, host, everything that goes with that.
We have time for 2 more. AJ Jacobs and Rivals.
Coach, my network today named Justin Flo as one of the top prospect players to potentially break out this coming year. What are the chances they might be right?
extremely high. Guy's a really good football player, and had a tough go early on, getting nicked up, but we've taken really good care of him, and he's really approached his circumstances like a grown man. So proud of him in that aspect. He's had a chance to work on getting some really good work done academically, which is always going to be at the forefront. And he's got some great older guys that have taken him under their wing and have taught him so much. He's learned so much. So expecting big things out of Justin Flo.
Last question, Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Coach, we just spoke to some defensive player, and all three of them talked about the offensive line and how they've improved and how they're dominant. I wondered if you could kind of talk about why they might be saying those things, and obviously your perspective, pretty good mind with the offensive line, what you've seen there, and if you agree with some of that sentiment.
I think it's a lot of things. I think it's, the one position where five guys got to work as one. If they don't, it doesn't matter how talented one guy is. So there's been some continuity. There's also the whole iron sharpens iron mantra around here. I mean, they're going against some really good players on defense, and they're seeing a lot of different things, but there's maybe nothing as valuable as experience and time. Coach Mirabal is, how I feel about him, but it's factual. The guy's the best in the industry at what he does. I'm his GA, so, I do whatever I can to help him out on the side, but he is the guy that really, drives that thing. And guys like Alex Forsythe, Ryan Walk, TJ Bass, George Moore, can't say enough great things about him. Stephen Jones, Salah's still nursing that thing, but he's going to be okay soon. Dawson Jaramillo, I mean, these guys they've taken a hold of this thing, and they are just grinding and pushing forward, and they're allowing themselves to be challenged both by the defense and by the coaching staff, and they love it, man. It's a hell of a culture. I mean, it's one of a kind. And I think we know that we're really committed to everything regarding the student athlete. There is like a tremendous amount of commitment to the line of scrimmage and developing those guys. And it's our time to take that next step.
There you go. That's Mario Cristobal as he just wrapped up his press conference right as we got on the air today. Glad we could get it for you. Although normally we edit for the greatest hits. That was kind of, as you heard, the raw form. Todd Miles moderating from Oregon Athletic Communications, and I don't know, maybe it's not so bad. I guess maybe we don't need to spend our time combing through and making the greatest hits. I don't know. You all tell me. It's always brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute Research Center. Fight like a duck with cancer care you can count on every time we hear from Mario Cristobal. Up next, how about Oregon Volleyball sweeping their way into the Sweet 16? We also have CJ Verdell talking about his career and why he came back to Oregon. That's on today's show as we continue on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad!
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you. Going to talk with CJ Verdell coming up in just a little bit. Also some news around Oregon basketball with Dana Altman hiring Chris Crutchfield to join his coaching staff. We'll get you that in just a moment. First, Oregon Volleyball was in action this morning. The NCAA tournament underway for Oregon Volleyball. They swept Notre Dame, and it wasn't even close. I guess things got a little bit close in the second set, but then Oregon just stormed back, and frankly, the Ducks were just efficient in their demolition of the Irish. So pretty impressive for Oregon Volleyball and Matt Ulmer squad. They won this morning, which means they will play at a to-be-determined time coming up on Sunday, and their opponent is either going to be High Point or Purdue. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, they're actually playing right now. So we'll have that more detail for you coming up. But we know the Ducks will play on Sunday at a to-be-determined time. It is the 7th time in school history that Oregon Volleyball is heading to the Sweet 16, as Matt Ulmer has got him back in that spot. I got a chance to catch up with him this morning, talking about how the Ducks really pretty much dominated, and it's a little bit different this time around, but at least there were some fans. We talked with Coach Ulmer after the Ducks made it to the Sweet 16 in volleyball.
I thought we played really well. I thought we played consistent. I thought our offense was really clicking, probably as good as it's been. Notre Dame is a very aggressive team. I thought they served very tough, put a lot of pace on the ball, really challenged us. Again, the strength for us all year has been our serve receive. So I think that was a pretty good matchup for us as far as, that's normally where they get a lot of people in trouble. But we just got great contributions from a lot of people. Broken record, Nuneville is amazing, and just so many plays that are just like, did you do that? I don't know how she does it. But Morgan Lewis, was just awesome and was a big time scorer for us. And kind of whenever you felt like the momentum might slip, she answered it for us. And that was great. So a lot of people stepped up, and it's a great team win.
What's the environment like? I mean, what was it like playing in this environment in this weird year?
It's different, but we actually had fans today, and, though it's very minimal fans, because we haven't had any, it feels like there's a lot of people in there, because it's just been so quiet in our gyms. And then you have, the other courts going at the same time. So there's a lot of energy, in the gym. There's a lot of excitement. But I think set one, it kind of felt like we were really trying to provide a lot of energy. And then set two, they stepped it up. So then it kind of made it a little more like playoff-like, where it was like, okay, we got a game and we're going to have to fight, and, they're coming after us. And so it definitely felt like a playoff game once we got into it.
Good stuff from Matt Ulmer, man. I just really enjoy watching that team play, and they have been so successful this year. They're the number 10 national seed, which makes sense. They're into the Sweet 16. Probably going to be taking on Purdue. We'll see here coming up, but yeah, I'm really excited to see what this team does on Sunday. So more from Oregon Volleyball coming up on Sunday. Elsewhere, Dana Altman has made it official. Chris Crutchfield has been added to the Ducks coaching staff on Wednesday, yesterday. Comes to Oregon after spending the 2021 season as the head coach at East Central University. More than 20 years in coaching experience, where he was a guy that, let's just say there's a heck of a recruiter. He got Buddy Hield. He got Trey Young. Some good names when he was an assistant coach at Oklahoma. Was ultimately elevated under Lon Kruger to associate head coach, then became the associate head coach at Arkansas under Eric Musselman before becoming a head coach at East Central University, and now he joins the Ducks. Pretty darn cool. And again, best of luck to Tony Stubblefield, head coach at DePaul. Kenyon Yovan on the Golden Spikes Award watch list. We told you about it on the broadcast yesterday. USA Baseball, the top amateur baseball athlete in the country. Kenyon Yovan, one of 45 players that is on the list. Also today, D1 Baseball releasing some advanced metrics, and Aaron Zavala is their number one hitter in the country. Kenyon Yovan is also on that list as well. Yovan, it's the second time in his career that he's been on this watch list. He did it as a pitcher 2 years ago. Now this year he's doing it as a hitter. That's just the kind of talent that he has. If you're just joining us, Oregon Baseball blowing out Portland yesterday 18-1. They will play at USC coming up at 6 o'clock on Friday for the first of a 3-game Pac-12 set. And men's golf took 7th in the Western Intercollegiate, which I know, 7th, well, that's like the most elite West Coast collegiate golf tournament. The Ducks now have about a week and a half to get ready for the Pac-12 championships. Also of note, Sedona Prince pretty darn cool for her. She has accepted an invitation to attend the upcoming USA Basketball Women's America Cup Team Trials. Prince is one of 20 collegiate athletes to accept invitations, which are set for April 18th through 21st at the University of South Carolina. Invitations were issued by the USA Basketball Women's Junior National Team Committee, and that means that Sedona Prince is looked at as one of the best players in the country, which is pretty darn cool. Speaking of women's basketball, we're going to hear from the head coach, Kelly Graves, as he spent a lot of time yesterday looking back on the season. We'll get a quick timeout, and when we return, Kelly Graves looking back on what was, I think, still a pretty doggone good women's basketball season. More coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Freedom, Toyota hybrids say, let's go faster and further with 10 hybrid models to choose from and tons of top tech. The best part? Every Toyota hybrid offers an extended hybrid battery warranty for 10 years or 150,000 miles. So let's go places. Toyota hybrids.
For Toyota hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and fuel cell and battery electric vehicles beginning with model year 2020. The hybrid HV battery is covered for 10 years from original date of first use or 150,000 miles, whichever comes first. Coverage is subject to terms and conditions of your new vehicle limited warranty. See owner's warranty and maintenance guide for details.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Learfield IMG College. Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through, like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace. Learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you will feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you, where today's show is brought to you by North Fork Public House, open for dine-in and takeout, northforkeugene.com. I'm Joey Mack. Thanks for being with us again today, as we've got a lot to get to. And now we transition a bit. We'll hear from CJ Verdell next segment, as we've been telling you about him coming back and how important that's been. But Kelly Graves, he has had a tremendous run for Oregon women's basketball, as he spent some time with the media yesterday, and we won't get to all of it today because he talked for about a half an hour. He spent some time, though, looking back on what I think was still a pretty doggone good year. Kelly Graves meeting with the media.
Well, kind of like we said at the start of the season, I expected a roller coaster ride, and that's kind of what we got. We were a little up and a little down and kind of all around. And, you know, at times I was really pleased with how we played. Certainly we played good basketball early in the year. We kind of faltered toward the middle and end of Pac-12 play, but then turned it around in the NCAA tournament, won a couple of games, which I think is really, really important. So, overall thoughts, just kind of the same thing, a mixed bag. I'm really proud of how we finished the season, certainly. And I think that's going to bode well. I think just the fact we made the tournament, made some noise, won some games, I think will do this young team well. But some good individual performances. It was a growing experience. Well, I think the main thing is we've just got to spend some time in the gym and in the weight room especially. I think strength is going to be paramount. We're going to hopefully maybe play a little bit more power basketball in the future. And so, yeah, we've just got to get bigger and stronger. And that includes our perimeter kids.
just want to get a reaction from the news with Taylor and Jazz transferring out, and then obviously Taylor now facing you in the Pac-12 a little bit at Arizona. Just kind of the reaction to how that all played out.
Yeah, I don't know how that'll play out. I mean, I'm sure she'll play motivated when we play them, but so will we. I mean, you know, I'm okay. I've never really worried about where players go once they leave our program. I just, you know, if they don't want to be here, then I don't really care where they go, quite frankly. And you know, Jazz and Taylor, you're always disappointed when you lose transfers. You know, because they become part of your family, and they always will be. I mean, you know, I don't know how many times I've been a reference to kids who've transferred out of the program. We try to always leave it in a positive way. And I get it. I think, you know, everybody who was around the program kind of saw what was happening. And, you know, the reality is they just wanted to play more and didn't feel like that was going to be the case at Oregon. I think they enjoyed their experiences here. At least that's what they said. And, you know, I think it really came down to, you know, they just needed a better fit somewhere else. And so, you know, I wish them well. I do. But like I said, at the same time, it still hurts. It's just disappointing. And guess what, you guys, you've seen the portal. It's just, that's the way you do business anymore. You know, it's just it's a part of what you do. I don't think any program's immune now from losing players.
Kelly, obviously, Tahina played a big role for you. Maddie came on late with a key role. I'm curious, are you looking forward to the next offseason of developing Kylie and Angela and Sydney and really getting to work with them more?
No question about it. And when people talk about the 2 transfers that we just lost, well, you're going to try and fill their roles or fill their roster spots. And I like what I have, you know, and I've always enjoyed a smaller roster. I think everybody feels more engaged. Right now, I just look at the guard line, just look at the guard that we'll have coming back. You've got Maddie Shear, Tahina, Taylor Mikesell, Sydney Parrish, and then Taylor Bigby, our incoming freshman. Those are 5 really good guards. You also add into that mix an Angela Dugalich, who could swing and play that 3 spot for us as well. So you're looking at really, really quality players. And then inside with Sedona, Niara, Kylie, and then Angela as well, who can play inside. And then, you know, we have a freshman come in Filipina Chase. So, you know, it's I think we've got the right mix. Ariel Wilson, I forgot her as well. So I think the smaller roster will help. Yes, I'm looking forward to really working with players like Kylie. I think Kylie's got a high ceiling. You know, right now she was playing behind 2 pros and a 5th-year senior. So, you know, her minutes are going to go up. They need to, and she needs to continue to improve. But she's a really, really good player, just to mention the one. We just didn't have time to work with them. We really had no off season last year, no summer preparation. And so now we will. And we're a quarter school. So that means we can work them out, you know, until into June, which I think is a real advantage for us over some semester schools. And we'll need it. And we're starting up on Monday. So I'm really looking forward to it.
With that in mind, Kelly, just wanted an update on Tahina, Niara, and Maddie in terms of, will they be able to start, if you're starting on Monday, will they be back in that capacity, or are they still limited, and for how long?
No, I think they're all good. Yeah, they've been rehabbing, and I know a lot of our players have been at home. So, you know, I always give them off 2 to 3 weeks. And I think this year it even worked out to be more after the season. Just always done that. I think rest and relaxation is good for them. But from what I understand, they're all good to go. In fact, Tahina, I believe, is at the trials, or will be at the trials here in a day or so for the America, her and Sedona. So, you know, that's quite an honor to be invited. That's a kind of a who's who of college basketball players, and they're both well-deserved. So I don't think even though I haven't seen her since the season, actually I haven't seen her since our last game, you guys, because then I went from there to Indy, and then everybody's been gone. But I don't think she would have accepted the invitation if she wasn't healthy.
Kelly, you talked about the transfers, but this isn't the first time you've had a lot of transfers
leave the program. I had to look back at 18. You had Mallory and Sierra and Ina and Annalie leave. What was the key to just making sure that transition of players didn't affect the team going forward?
Well, I wouldn't consider 2 transfers a lot of players. I don't know what is, but I don't think 2 is. I think it's part of the game now. I mean, my goodness, look at who people are adding and losing. It's like free agency in the NBA. It truly is. And so I don't really concern myself with that. We're keeping our core of players. And, if they were all transferring because, there were just issues within the program, then that's one thing. But that group that you mentioned in 18, Sierra Camposano wanted to go play. Mallory McGuire wanted to go play, and they ended up having good careers at mid-major programs. And, and I think that kind of attrition is, I wouldn't say necessary, but I don't think we've had as many transfers as a lot of programs. Gino has as many as anybody, but nobody really says anything there because it's Gino, so it's part of the game now. I don't get too concerned about it.
It is part of the game now, and I think you're going to see it more and more as the transfer portal continues to change the way things work, especially as the NCAA has just made it official that there will be a one-time opportunity to transfer and compete immediately in all sports for student athletes. That decision coming from the NCAA leadership today, saying, quote, allowing student athletes a one-time opportunity to transfer and compete immediately provides a uniform, equitable, and understandable approach that benefits all student athletes. There you go. So you're going to see more and more of it, and I do think just selfishly and personally, me talking with a lot of athletes that I've worked with, I think it just makes sense. Coming up next, we're going to hear a little bit from CJ Verdell, why he came back to Oregon. That answer next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff, create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing.
Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you. Calling all cookie lovers, come visit Crumble Cookies off Coburg Road if you're here in the Eugene area. Well, earlier this week, CJ Verdell talked with the media. Some of the greatest hits for you as he discussed a little bit about what he's been up to, the injuries that he dealt with, and just how raring he is to get back at it after he missed a game for the first time in his career toward the end of last season. CJ Verdell talking with the media a little bit about why he came back as well.
What happened to your thumb? Because the camera angle cut away, and I just couldn't tell if you fell wrong or someone stepped on you or something. But clearly, it then threw off the rest of the game and the rest of the season for you. So
it actually, well, not mean to cut you off, but it actually happened in the Wazoo game. I had messed up my thumb, but I didn't know exactly what it was. And we didn't know exactly what it was. We had to get it checked out or anything. So I just, like, they just had it wrapped up. I was kind of playing with the club for the latter part of the season, those last few games that I played. I was playing with a club the whole time. So it kind of made it rough, but, just trying to just play through it.
A couple of guys that would probably be getting a lot of snaps in spring are not practicing right now. What's kind of the dynamic been in practice with you, Travis, and Cross?
Well, as an offense, we always have the next man up mentality. So, whenever somebody goes down, it's always up to the next man up to just come in and be better or just as good. So we never really look at that too much. And as far as Aaron came in and he done a great job. He's picked up the system real well. The plays that he does get on the field, he's been really excelling.
CJ, I want to talk a little bit about your decision to return to Oregon for another season. Kind of what went through your mind there? What was the conversation like with the coaches, with your parents?
Oh, definitely. So I had talked to Coach Cristobal, Coach Moorhead, Coach, me and Master, we always talking. And then I had told him, I have no problem coming back. I love Oregon. I love the team here. I love the coaching staff, just a great environment overall. So coming back was never something that I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then talking to my parents, they were with me 100% whatever I chose. And when I said I wanted to come back, they was with me full board.
CJ, obviously you weren't able to play in the Pac-12 championship and the Fiesta Bowl, and right. Anthony Brown did play in those games. I'm just curious, what's your level of chemistry with him and your impression of him trying to take over the quarterback spot? Oh man,
I love AB. He's a real leader on and off the field. Does a great job rallying everybody. Making sure he knows everybody and building a good bond and chemistry with all the players, especially on the offense. So, and even last year when Tyler was the main guy and he was backing him up, he was still doing the same things. So like the transition was very natural for him.
CJ, how are you, I guess, this season? Do you have any goals for yourself?
Oh, definitely exactly what he said. Yeah, definitely Pac-12. To be honest, my main goal since I've been in Oregon and since Cristobal has taken over the program and we've been going in the direction that we've been going, definitely want to get into that playoff, and win a national championship. That's definitely the main goal here. And, we feel like we got the guys to do that. So that's pretty much where everybody's head's at.
You'll love to hear it. You just love to hear it from C.J. Verdell. The running backs talking with the media. Travis Dye, C.J. Verdell. Also heard a little bit from Kelly Graves there. We won't get to all of Kelly Graves recapping some of his thoughts, so we'll do that for you. If not on the show tomorrow, we'll definitely have it for you on Monday because we just have so much going on. Elsewhere today, Brandon Dorless, Mace Funa, Isaac Slibatautia met with the media. Tomorrow, a full preview of Oregon baseball and their weekend ahead. Going to talk with a couple Pac-12 players of the week, and Robert Alstrom and Gabe Matthews. Coach Abel and Oregon soccer, their final regular season game tomorrow. All that, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, everybody in the car, let's go.
What are we gonna do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not that far, sweetie.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already?
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
They say that car crashes happen in slow motion. The reality is that crashes happen fast. There's